Hi, my name is Binoy and here is my review of the Logitech Poco X Superlight. Now, for a little background, I've not been much into wireless gaming mice. I'm a bit too old school when it comes to my thinking when it comes to that. As time went by, as my setup started growing bigger and bigger, I decided, you know what, I should start actually cleaning stuff up, and I already made a purchase of a wireless Bluetooth keyboard and it's been doing really good, the Ant Pro 2 by the way. And decided, you know what, let's do it. Let's go ahead and do it. So just a heads up, I'll be making a lot of comparisons from the Poco X Superlight to the Razer Viper, since the Viper was the last mouse I used for nearly over a year and mained while playing stuff like Call of Duty and other shooters. First, out of the box. The box is a box. Amazing. 10 out of 10. Just kidding. It's alright. Sturdy matte black with some pretty cool reflective text and Logitech touting what this mouse is capable of. On the other side of the box is the ever necessary esports team that uses these mice, out of which I only recognize Na'Vi because I used to be once into Dota 2. Shout out to Dendy. Within the box, apart from the mouse, you do get a fair share of goodies. Now, before I continue, I just have to say one of the most shocking things when unboxing this mouse was picking it up for the first time. Anyways, get a pretty big G sticker, a USB-A to micro USB cable, along with Logitech's Trident, and a micro USB to USB-A extension, which you can slap your provided Lightspeed dongle into. Some black rubber grips to slap onto the mouse if you're into that. I am not. I think it takes away from the aesthetic, but it's fine if you're into that. And also apart from that, you do get a quick start guide and warranty info. Now let's talk about the weight. Logitech advertises this as less than 60 grams, and oh boy. The first time I picked up this mouse, I went oof. It's just crazy how light this thing is. And this is me after using one of the lightest, mice with a full shell design, the Razer Viper wired. But because if you look at the Razer Viper, there is a 5-gram increase from the wired to the wireless version. And somehow, Logitech made something like this and still made it way more lighter. Regardless of the crazy weight reduction done on the Poco X Superlight, the mouse does not rattle at all. It still feels extremely solid. Since using a Taipan, I've just preferred ambidextrous mice. I use a claw/fingertip style of grip and this mouse feels alright. It's not the most comfiest mouse I've tried. The Basilisk was super comfy, but that's more ergo. The matte finish is smooth. Just like an eggshell. Just slick enough for when you're admiring it, and has grip once your palms get sweaty, knees weak, arms are heavy. There's no RGB on this mouse. All of that has been removed in the name of saving weight. Of course, you still get a small little status indicator light that lets you know, what's the power and also what DPI setting you're on. It's taken a while to get used to a new mouse shape, but in gaming, it really didn't make much of an issue. Now for the buttons. The primary mouse buttons are crisp. Like super light, high-pitched clickies when compared to the chomp of the Razer Viper. Side buttons are soft and accessible, but do note the Poco X Superlight has ditched the side buttons on the right, so this is no longer an option for left-handed gamers, unfortunately. If you watched any reviews of the previous G Pro X wireless, Jesus Christ, these names, you've heard a lot of users reporting a lot of double-clicking issues. Now, as far as my time using this, which has been like close to a month, I have not ran into anything, and I'm knocking on wood and hoping it stays that way. Switches. As far as the type of switches, Logitech has not given us any info on what they use. On the back, they just said that they have tuned the switches, and also some reviewers are saying it's an Omron 15mm, some say it's a 20mm. I don't know, but I'm sure that by the time I reach like 18 million clicks within a year and a half, I'm probably going to be looking for another mouse. Now for the scroll wheel. The one thing that surprised me the most is the scroll wheel. Like, I never really cared that much when it comes to scroll wheel on my previous mice, but scroll wheel on this, it's smooth, not too rough, nor clicky while scrolling. There's more of a slight bump to each scroll step than an, very definite click. The finish on the top makes it quite comfy when your fingers are resting on top of it, and pressing down on it is a thud and a smush. Not distracting at all. It also seems very durable. The plastic on the mouse wheel is glossy and seems really sturdy from what I can see. I love the mouse wheel, nothing more to say apart from that. USB cable and dongle. There's not much I can comment on the cable and the dongle. I've not really had issues with their Lightspeed tech. Connection has been stable, lag-free, and fuck-up free too. The cable is rubberized with Logitech's Trident design. It would have been nice if it was braided, but again, you're using a wireless mouse, all right? You're probably going to have it wired like maybe for 2 hours each week. And I really don't see that as an issue. Now let's talk about the USB connection. I, just like everybody else who got their hands on this mouse, would have loved if it came with a USB-C connection. But I believe the truth of the matter is that Logitech trimmed the weight out of this mouse so much and wanted to make sure that the mouse was as light as possible out of the factory, that the added 1-2 grams that would have come with keeping a USB-C connection on the mouse wouldn't allow them to advertise this thing as, a sub 63 gram mouse. We would have not minded it at all. But again, probably keeping that little added weight would have made Logitech lose its bragging rights. So again, not a big issue. Let's stop talking about it. Overall, it's one of the most well-made mice I've tried. There's just this aura of quality to the Poco X Superlight that I cannot keep it on the same platform as the Viper, at least in terms of build quality. Now for performance. I don't know if I should either be sad or glad that I jumped into wireless mice this late. Performance is superb. I honestly cannot tell the difference from using it wired or wireless. Connection has been great and it feels like a wired wireless mouse, if that makes any sense. So what about the sensor? As for the sensor, it just works well. The only time I've only had issues with the sensor of a mouse was with the Mamba Tournament Edition and its liftoff issues. With this mouse, I mean, it's capable of some crazy DPI numbers. Let's be honest, you'd be using it at like what, 800, 1200 DPI max? You don't need 25,000 DPI. What are you using for a monitor? A billboard? That being said, I don't really find much of a difference using the Viper versus the Poco X Superlight. I don't think my aim got any better. It works well. If you're looking for a big step in your performance in FPS games, I suggest you spend your money on a 144Hz monitor, which you can find options just, hovering around the $200 mark. Now for the mouse feet. The mouse feet are decent. They're a bit scratchy out of the box, but you know what? I'll sacrifice another 2 to 3 grams and probably slap on some Tiger Skates. Now let's talk about the software. This is my first time using G-Hub, and it's pretty straight to the point. You open it up and boom, all the Logitech devices that are connected are shown. Clicking on the mouse takes you to the DPI settings where you can adjust and set those there. Plus, stuff to change keybinds, have a particular profile when launching a program, etc. You can also set the DPI steps for your onboard memory. So if you take this mouse anywhere, you can change the DPI on the fly with a combo of buttons, and the LED indicator would let you know where you're at. Pretty much no BS. It is what it is. What more would you want from it? I got this mouse out of the box and it was like 50%. Kept it on charge for like around 45 minutes and it was full. After 5 days of heavy use, it now sits at 70%, which I think is amazing. I think with my gaming habits, I could possibly make this mouse last more than a week, but where it stands now, it's pretty damn impressive. So now let's talk about big elephant in the room, which is pricing. Now at $150-ish, this was way out of my budget. You can get mice with similar performance, okay-ish ergonomics, and features for way less. Heck, the Viper and Basilisk Ultimate are still options and they're well under $150. And you get a cool charging dock too. But you won't find something that is this well made, this light, and performance is good. Is it worth the money? I'd honestly say, yeah, for sure. Going back to the Viper and using this makes me feel like the Viper is chonky. And honestly, I can't go back to any mice that are, way heavier than this weight range. So we finished all this. Let's go to the final thoughts. Just to wrap things up, this is a really good mouse for the money. If you do manage to find it on sale, go pick it up. No questions asked. You won't regret it. It's really well made, feels great in hand, pretty to look at, and performs well too. Anyways, thank you so much for sticking through the whole video. I apologize for the shoddy product shoot since I was recording off of my phone, but still hope this video was helpful in some way to whoever is looking into buying this mouse. If you have any questions, do comment below. I want to know what other wired wireless mice everyone is using too. Also, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to drop a like, dislike if you did not. It's the first time I'm doing a full proper review like this, and I would love the feedback. And if things go good, then probably start doing more. Shameless plug time. You can come hang out with me on Twitch. I usually stream on Thursday, Fridays, and Saturdays. You can find me in Benoy, link in the description, and you can also get some cool merch with some of my artwork. I draw, who would have thought? So yeah, thank you so much, and bye bye.